Imagine that you have set out on an endless journey. The earth's soil beneath your feet, the blue sky above your head, and countless paths ahead that will take you somewhere. But what if you never stop? What if you keep moving continuously? Crossing continents, skimming the edges of oceans just in search of one question. Where does the end of the earth lie? Is there a wall there? Or a chasm that will stop you? Or will your journey never end? For us, this question is just imagination, but it's not just a traveler's question or a product of our imagination. It's a question for anyone wanting to explore the boundaries of this blue planet. And today, we are about to embark on such a mysterious journey where, touching the edges of the earth, we will discover that the end is just an illusion, but the mystery behind it is infinite. So, let's begin this mysterious journey. The Earth is a spherical planet, a huge ball that keeps revolving in space. If you set out to travel on Earth by foot or by vehicle, theoretically, there is no end to it. If you keep walking, you'll travel from the North Pole to the South Pole. Or you could just keep going around in circles along its equator. And in the end, you'll come back to the same point where you started. But in reality, there are many places on Earth that give us the feeling that the Earth has an end. It feels as if everything ahead has ended and your path has reached the final stage of infinity. According to National Aeronautics and Space Administration, 71% of the Earth's surface is covered with water. That's why, when you reach the edge of the continents, it feels as if the world has come to a halt there. But this is not the end. Rather, it's the beginning of a new journey. Still, for us humans, these places truly make us feel like we are in a different world. In the north, there is a road that will take you to just such a world. If you start heading north, imagine that you are in the snowy regions of Norway. It's winter in Antarctica, where the air is so cold that even your breath freezes. As you keep walking, you will eventually reach a road that is the northernmost road in Europe. This is Highway E69. This 129-kilometer long road starts from Oldefjord and goes all the way to Nordkapp. The British Broadcasting Corporation says this is the world's northernmost highway. When you reach there, it feels like you've reached the end of the earth. There are 5 tunnels on the road cutting through the mountains. And finally, there's a Golden Globe monument that says, End of Europe. But is this really the end? No. Nordkapp is located at 71 degrees north latitude, and from here you can see the Barents Sea, which is part of the Arctic Ocean. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's imagery shows that icy cliffs descend into the seas here, but further north, Greenland and Iceland are also present. But even so, in winter, because of the midnight sun or polar night, this place starts to feel almost magical. While driving on the highway, you have to keep your speed low, right? Scientists have set up several stations here to study the magnetic field. Because being close to the North Pole, the compass starts behaving strangely here. Several stations have been set up here to study it. Traveling on Highway E69 is a cinematic experience. Imagine you're driving and beside you, the Aurora Borealis is dancing. Daytime conditions mean it will be night for months. And if you look far away, everything seems small in front of the vastness of the endless ocean. But when you reach the end, you realize that this is not the end, but rather a new beginning. If you go further by boat, a whole new world of Antarctica opens up. This place often attracts people because here it feels as if the Earth has come to an end, even though this may not actually be the end of the Earth. But Highway E69 definitely makes us feel the boundaries of the Earth. Similarly, in the south, at the tip of America, there's the city of Ushuaia in Argentina. This is the southernmost city in the world. At 54 degrees south latitude, arriving here feels as if we are standing at the very edge of the earth. The city's signboard says Fin del Mundo, which means end of the world. Ushuaia is actually the capital of Tierra del Fuego province, from where the journey to Antarctica begins. Here there are forests, large mountains like the Himalayas, and the Beagle Channel which separates the sea. In Ushuaia, if you keep walking, the roads eventually end at the seashore. From here, you can see the Magellan Strait. Here, the waves are so strong that it feels as if the land itself has sunk into the water. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's satellite data shows that the plasma activity of the land here is quite high. Because near the South Pole, the ozone layer is quite thin. This city has a train called the End of the World Train, which passes through the forest and takes you to the end. But actually, this is not the end. Rather, beyond this is Antarctica, where sheets of ice stretch to the infinite horizon. Here too, scientists study climate change. Because the Southern Ocean affects global warming, these places force us to look beyond our small world. Unlike Highway E69, the weather here is a mix of heat and cold. But both places create the illusion of the end of the earth. Let's now measure the end of the earth upwards. Of course, it's not possible to walk there. We'll have to fly instead. So where's the upper end of the earth? Is it the atmosphere? According to National Aeronautics and Space Administration and European Space Agency, the Earth's atmosphere is divided into several layers. Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The last layers will have very little air. There will be very little air in the last layers. Here the atmosphere becomes very thin. But the real boundary is the Kármán line, which is an international standard at an altitude of 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. Here, the atmosphere becomes so thin that even airplanes can't fly. And to stay in orbit, the velocity needs to be 7.8 kilometers per second. According to the Fédération Aéronautique Internationale, this is the beginning of space. And here you can consider that this is the end of our Earth, but it's an end that you can't actually see with your own eyes. Actually, this isn't a physical boundary that you can gaze at. As you go higher, first you'll see clouds, then the blue sky will become deeper, darker, and infinite. Beyond this edge of the Earth, there is the vacuum of space where satellites orbit, and the International Space Station also revolves above this altitude. The end of Earth's atmosphere protects the Earth from space, but how big of a coincidence is that? Actually, what we consider the edge of the Earth is not really visible to us, and what appears to be the edge of the Earth while we are on it is just an illusion. The real end of the Earth is in space. Similarly, if we talk about the solar system, the heliosphere is a large bubble surrounded by the sun's hot wind. We consider that as the end of the solar system. Voyager 1 crossed it in 2012 and entered interstellar space, so that was the end of our solar system. But there are many different opinions about this as well. But for Earth, we generally consider the Kármán line as the final edge of the planet, because after that, space begins. But this is a decision we have made. If we talk about Earth's atmosphere, it's actually very thin. Beyond this is the magnetosphere, which blocks solar winds. If we go even higher, there are the Van Allen radiation belts, where charged particles are trapped. And then there's the vacuum of space. But even after that, if you look at it, the Earth never really ends. Its gravity keeps us bound for a long distance. In the future, if we go to Mars, the Earth will appear as a tiny dot from far away, but even there, science can still feel the gravity of our Earth. All this makes us wonder where its end really is. Maybe its end lies in our imagination. Friends, what are your thoughts on this? Do let us know in the comment section. How did you like this video? If you like this video, be sure to like it and share it with your friends. For more such videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Friends, we'll see you soon with another fun video.